He did not cry because he lost. He cried because he finally understood something no trophy could ever change. There would never be another chance. Not next year. Not in 4 years. Never again. For over 2 decades, Cristiano Ronaldo made the impossible look routine. He outran time itself again and again, until the whole world believed he might actually win that fight forever. But last night, in the 91st minute, time finally collected its debt. 1 goal, 1 silence, 1 dream, gone. And what happened next broke millions of hearts watching around the world. Stay with me, because this is not just a football story. This is what it looks like when a legend runs out of tomorrows. Most careers end quietly. A slow decline, a bench roll nobody notices, a retirement announcement buried in the sports section. Ronaldo's career was never going to end like that. It needed a stage big enough to match everything he had built. It needed a stadium full of noise, a rival that mattered, and a scoreboard that refused to move until the very last second. Last night, football gave him exactly that stage. It just didn't give him the ending he had spent 2 decades chasing. And that contrast between the size of the moment and the size of the heartbreak is why this story is not really about football at all. It's about what happens when the clock runs out on a dream you were never willing to give up on yourself. Spain walked into this match with a plan. Portugal walked in with a prayer. Not a prayer built on tactics, a prayer built on one name: Cristiano Ronaldo. For 20 years, that name alone was enough to calm a nation's nerves. Whenever Portugal needed a miracle, they didn't look to the bench. They looked at him. Because psychologically, Ronaldo had stopped being just a player a long time ago. He had become belief itself. That is what real legends do. They stop representing themselves. They start carrying the hope of millions who have never even met them. Every teammate plays looser because he's on the pitch. Every fan breathes easier because he's wearing the armband. Every opponent feels the pressure before the whistle even blows. You cannot put a number on that kind of power, but it wins matches long before kickoff. The problem is brutal and simple. Even legends expire. At 41 years old, Ronaldo still had the mind of a champion. The obsession, the preparation, the refusal to accept defeat before it happens. None of that was gone. But football does not negotiate with age. The mind can stay sharp forever. The body eventually stops answering, and that is where the real war began. Quietly inside one man's head. For his entire career, Ronaldo solved every problem the same way. Score, sprint, fight, control the moment. Last night, there was almost nothing left to control. Spain figured out the one thing most teams never do. You don't beat Ronaldo by fighting him. You beat him by starving him. They didn't waste energy trying to intimidate the man. They simply cut off his supply. The midfield held the ball forever. The back line refused to leave a single gap. The passing lanes to Ronaldo quietly disappeared, one by one. And every minute he stood, waiting for the ball to arrive, was another minute his greatest weapon went dull. Not effort, opportunity, because confidence in football is built through touches, through rhythm, through the small moments that remind a player who he is. Take those away, and even the greatest player alive starts to feel invisible on his own stage. Ronaldo touched the ball less than almost any match of his career. Fewer passes, fewer runs, fewer chances to be Ronaldo. He did manage one real moment, a low effort straight at the goalkeeper's palms. The closest thing to hope Portugal produced all night. Moments later, the keeper denied him again. 2 attempts, 2 saves, 2 reminders that even lightning needs a spark to strike from. Not because the fire was gone, because the game simply refused to give him room to burn. For 90 minutes, both teams seemed to be playing for penalties, not glory. Cautious passes, safe decisions, neither side willing to be the one who blinked first. It felt less like two rivals clashing and more like two chess players circling the same board, waiting for the other to make a mistake worth punishing. Nobody expected the mistake to arrive with the clock already bleeding into stoppage time. But that is exactly when football chooses to break hearts. Not in the tension of the 60th minute, in the exhaustion of the 91st. This is one of the oldest tricks in psychological warfare. If you cannot destroy someone's confidence directly, you quietly remove the stage it performs on. And once confidence has nowhere to go, it slowly turns into helplessness. For most players, helplessness is uncomfortable. For Ronaldo, it is something far more dangerous, because his identity was never simply about scoring. It was about changing outcomes, bending history, being the difference between heartbreak and glory. Last night, for the first time in his final World Cup, he became something he had never been on this stage. A spectator, inside his own story. That may be the cruelest kind of pain there is. The scoreboard stayed level for 90 minutes. Portugal stayed alive, but something in the air kept whispering the same quiet warning. Your moment might never come tonight. Then came the 91st minute. One hesitation, one quick restart, one gap that never should have opened. Mikel Merino arrived at the perfect second. One calm finish, one explosion of noise from the Spanish bench, one nation erupting, another falling completely silent. Football has a cruel habit of compressing 20 years of dreaming into 3 seconds of chaos. That goal was never just tactical. It was psychological, straight to the bone. Because up until that moment, Portugal still believed fate might show up, uninvited. The goal didn't just win the game, it erased possibility itself. And the human brain reacts to that kind of loss almost instantly. That is why so many athletes look physically broken seconds after a late goal like that. It's not their legs giving out, it's hope leaving the building. For Cristiano Ronaldo, that moment carried a weight no other player on that pitch could fully understand. Every past World Cup heartbreak came with a door left open. Another tournament, another cycle, another shot at redemption. Not this time. There is no next World Cup waiting for him. No dramatic final chapter to rewrite the ending. This one was final. Not chosen by him, chosen by time. When the whistle finally blew, Ronaldo didn't explode in anger. He didn't argue. He didn't blame a teammate or a decision or the referee. He simply lowered his head and walked. Slowly, silently. Then the tears came, right there in front of the entire world. Millions assumed it was heartbreak. But there's a deeper layer most people miss completely. Those weren't only tears of losing. They were tears of finality. There's a massive difference between losing a match and realizing something in your life has ended forever. We rarely cry purely from pain. We cry when permanence suddenly becomes real. For 23 years, the national team wasn't something Ronaldo played for. It was something he lived inside. Every camp, every anthem before kickoff, every qualifier that meant nothing to the world but everything to him. His entire adult life was stitched into that one shirt. And in the span of a single stoppage-time goal, that chapter of his identity closed forever. Very few people understand how brutal that kind of transition really is. Elite athletes spend their whole lives becoming one specific version of themselves. Then one day, without warning, they're expected to simply become someone else. The body retires long before the mind agrees to it. The daily purpose disappears overnight. The noise of stadiums turns into silence at home. Countless athletes spend years struggling with exactly that shift. Because retirement was never really about the sport. It's about identity itself. Who are you when the thing that defined your entire existence no longer needs you to show up? That question has ended more careers quietly than any injury or defeat ever could. Think about what that actually means for a man like this. Since he was a teenager, every single day of his life pointed toward one goal: training before sunrise, recovery routines most people would never tolerate, a level of discipline that turned his body into a machine built to outlast everyone else on the pitch. That discipline never asked for permission to stop. It simply became who he was. And now, the very thing that gave his life structure for 23 years no longer has a place for him. That kind of silence is loud in a way trophies can never drown out. Many champions describe the months after retirement as the hardest transition of their entire lives, harder than any final, harder than any injury, not because they missed the game itself, because they missed the version of themselves that only existed inside it. And yet, what Ronaldo said afterward revealed something remarkable. No anger, no excuses, no blame aimed at anyone else. He simply said he leaves with a clear conscience. 4 words that carry more psychological weight than people realize. A clear conscience means the war inside your own head is already finished. Regret has nowhere left to live. Self-doubt has nowhere left to hide. Only acceptance remains standing. People often mistake acceptance for weakness. It is the exact opposite. Acceptance is the highest form of control a human being can reach, because it separates effort from outcome completely. Ronaldo understood something that breaks so many competitors before him. You cannot always control the result. You can only control the work, the sacrifice, the discipline you put in before the whistle even blows. The scoreboard belongs to the game. Your conscience belongs only to you. That single distinction is what protects a person from being destroyed by a loss. It lets you walk away from defeat without believing you personally failed. And maybe that is the real evolution we watched last night. Younger Ronaldo fought every doubt with fury. Every substitution felt like an insult. Every criticism felt like a war he had to win. His entire fire was built on proving people wrong. The Ronaldo who walked off that pitch last night felt different. Calmer, not satisfied, not comfortable, at peace. The kind of peace that only comes from knowing there was nothing left undone. He gave that shirt everything he had for 23 years. Historic goals across 6 different World Cups. A European title. Endless nights that a smaller player could never have delivered. The one trophy that always escaped him is still missing. But no single missing trophy can erase 2 decades of building an identity from nothing. This is something people watching from the outside often miss completely. Legacy is rarely built by how a story ends. Legacy is built by everything that came before the ending. The final chapter gets the headlines. The 1,000 pages before it are what actually built the legend. History will remember the tears on that pitch last night, but it will remember the 23 years before those tears even more. Think about everything that had to happen for a 19-year-old winger from a small island to become the man an entire nation leaned on for 2 decades. The doubters who said he was all flash and no substance. The critics who said he would fade once his legs slowed down. The rivals who were supposed to overtake him years ago and never quite managed it. He answered every single one of them, not with words, but with seasons that refused to end. That is the part a single stoppage-time goal can never touch. A trophy can be lifted or missed in 90 minutes. A legacy takes decades to build, and no late strike from a substitute can erase it in one night. That may be exactly why Ronaldo refused to announce anything permanent right away. Emotion is a dangerous place to make a lifelong decision from. In the first few hours after a loss like this, everything feels absolute. Everything feels irreversible. Waiting is not weakness. Distance creates clarity. Time reveals the truth that emotion tries to hide. Choosing to go home, sit with his family, and think before speaking to the world was not hesitation. It was maturity most people never reach in their entire lives. One final lesson hidden inside a heartbreaking night. Real strength was never about refusing to cry. Real strength is allowing yourself to break down completely, without letting that moment control everything that comes after it. Cristiano Ronaldo walked off that field last night knowing he will never chase this trophy again. The dream is over. The tournament is over. An entire era just quietly ended in front of the whole world. But his identity did not end with it. Because greatness was never truly defined by the one trophy that got away. It's defined by the standard you refuse to lower, even when your body started arguing with your ambition. For more than 20 years, this man convinced millions of people that impossible goals could become ordinary through pure obsession and discipline. That lesson survives long after the final whistle, long after the tears, long after this World Cup is forgotten by the history books. And maybe that's exactly why the image of him walking off that pitch in silence hit so many people so hard. Not because football lost a superstar, but because everyone watching just witnessed something every single human eventually faces in their own life. The moment when ambition finally meets reality. The moment when a dream quietly becomes a memory. The moment you stop asking what more you could achieve and start asking one much harder question instead. Did I give absolutely everything I had? He did not need a press conference to find that answer. He did not need a highlight reel to remind him of what he had already given. Cristiano Ronaldo already knew his answer before he even left the pitch. That is why he walked away with tears in his eyes, but with a clear conscience in his heart. And in the world of champions, there is no bigger victory than that. If this story moved you even a little, that's your sign to hit subscribe. Because we're just getting started on stories where sport, pressure, and human emotion collide. Until the next one, remember this: the strongest competitor isn't always the fastest or the most gifted. It's the one who understands pressure, identity, and letting go better than everyone else on the field. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more football stories that go beyond the scoreline. Here, we uncover the psychology, strategy, and untold moments that shape the biggest matches and the greatest legends. See you in the next one.